But it was in red and yellow, so I pissed my panties over it. I mean my pants because I'm a boy. Uh, Communism is when purple hair girl. Communism is when billionaire buys out insulin and upmarks it by $10,000 a vial.
Sounds right.
Communism is literally everything I don't like about capitalism, but refuse
Communism
to
is
fight.
when we drop gay bombs on the children.
Communism.
Communism is when we do capitalism, but I almost lose money.
What about the frogs? Do the frogs
Communism.
still have to be gay in capitalism?
Communism is when the frogs are straight. Wait, gay. I like them straight. No, I like them gay. Well, I don't know. I don't even like frogs. I shoot them. I ran out of words.
Can I
My bones
can
hurt.
I have a gay frog?
Your
All the frog
dad's.
people are gonna cancel you now.
The frog people are coming
Aw.
for you. What are you gonna do then? You screwball hippie.
Hippity hoppity, get off my property.
Hippity hoppity. Get off my private property.
Does it involve stand your ground laws?
I'll stand my ground on your ass.
Mac?
Yeah, I'll ass your ass. What do you think about that there, communism boy? With your billionaire backer, George Soros. What about George Holes? And he's gay.
Oh,
Yeah,
now we're getting somewhere.
we're going real fucking deep on theory.
Soros hour.
George Soros. He's
Oh,
gay. Welcome to the Sons of Trier, aka the Male Humor Hour. I'm Dan Cohen, male humorist.
I just pictured George Soros fighting Uncle Sam in like the ring.
He's fighting Uncle Sam. What if he's banging Uncle Sam though, because he's gay? And then they're like, I can't believe he's a top.
Well, no, he might be like primal, so they're all like fighting each other. But then,
To determine who gets to bang who.
yeah, foreplay is just a wrestling match to see who's on bottom.
Up on the volume, buddy. That's all I ask. Up on the volume. I gotta have more volume. This is like dealing with Michael Jordan Peterson when he's in his moods where he's like, I'm gonna talk like this. I'm gonna whisper into the mic and I'm gonna talk like Michael Jackson. Hee 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 hee.
Come on.
Shimon.
Actually, when he does that, I always
Shimon.
think of the old man on Family Guy.
Oh. When he talks.
That was
Get your ass
over here, boy.
Herbert the pervert.
We're doing more Herbert posting
Yeah.
than we've ever done before.
Listen, it's not our fault. That's where the comedy has taken us. Okay?
You ride the wave.
Yeah.
You ride the red wave.
More and more people are saying Herbert posting is where it's at.
Herbert posting.
And they come up to me with tears in their eyes, big, strong
So-
men, and they say,
Can
Juniper Nest, Herbert posting, thank you.
Juniper Nest, we're gonna need more. We're gonna need more. We're gonna need more. You have the Herbert. He's a wonderful guy. We used to hang out back in the 80s.
would you all let me ruin your day?
Yeah.
Please.
So I heard the worst fucking shit today.
Okay.
I listen to a lot of podcasts because what I do, I work a lot in spreadsheets.
Okay.
Stuff,
I'm gonna stop you there. There's no reason to attack all the years that John Sinclair and Jesus Venezuela were on the pod. Okay, it was 6 years, and like the way you're treating them is just the worst. It's disrespectful. Those were great episodes.
Oh my god. No, so they were the episode I was listening to was about how after World War II, Germany tried to really like swing the pendulum super left And in
Yeah.
doing so, they opened this like big gap to a lot of like even like left-wing fascism.
No, they
And
didn't. What
one of
podcast was this? Pod Save. Why are you listening to Pod Save America? Stop that.
no, what happened was is they were trying to, do more with parenting and figure out more in parenting, and one of the things they did is, instead of getting to the logical conclusion that, kids touch themselves and therefore we shouldn't shame them for it, right?
Uh-huh.
They took it to, well, kids touch themselves and adults touch themselves, so therefore they're both sexual beings and we shouldn't stop that. And they actually put um kids with
We
pedophiles.
got to Nambla.
So we
Nambla
actually,
all over again.
What
God
what
damn it.
podcast was this? Because I'm gonna work you through some right now. There's one group on the internet and in public who says that all pedophiles need to at least be incarcerated, and we disagree if incarceration includes dropping them out of an airlock in space or not.
oh
There's a
no, these people think they should have been dragged out of an airlock. That's not what it was. Just bringing to light because I had never heard about this.
Yeah, but then there's
I
another
didn't know
group
this
of
was a thing.
people worldwide who are like, we should be marrying 12-year-olds, and they're called conservatives. So I want to point
No,
out
it's not a
that this
conservative.
podcast is just smearing the left. Like the one thing the left has never done has been like, what we should do is diddle more kids. The minute you're into child diddling, you're conservative. Everything you do after that is going to be conservative by nature. Because that is the signature move of every conservative. Like if we can't breed a 4-year-old, it's not good enough for a conservative.
Then not enough freedom.
Not
Look,
enough freedom. Not enough monarchy. God'll be mad. Like that's the one
there's
thing we
there's
don't have. We do have
there's
genocide.
the
Ooh.
no. I don't think that. I don't think.
We're
Here's why
gonna
I'm
take, we're gonna
stuttering.
take the bold
Is
stance that the
because
podcast was not pro
no, the
diddling
reason.
kids.
Yeah. Okay. So, but my biggest thing is what makes you think that you can't have kid diddlers that are leftists.
The, you can. You can have leftists that are kid diddlers, but as an ideological project with systems of power in West Germany and by the Khrushchev era in East Germany, those are all conservatives. People will fight me on that, but Khrushchev was a filthy conservative.
Sure, but that doesn't mean that all of the like social type things that were happening were of the
But
time.
what year? By what year? We talking 1920s Germany? I might buy it. We talking 1960s? Pfft, no.
Well,
Ooh.
I would be careful thinking that those type of people can't
That
get
only
away with
conservatives can be kid diddlers.
Well,
yeah.
I didn't say that
That's
though.
the argument that you're trying to make.
That is not actually the argument I'm trying to make is as an ideological project, that is the argument. Like the most lenient leftist position on pedophiles is we should try to rehabilitate them or contain them away from children. I have the hardline stance on them, which is I want to see them set on fire, and because I need to know that they died in such a way that, and if they do manage to survive, they cannot physically act afterwards. Okay, I have the sadistic opinion on pedophiles. The right-wing opinions on pedophilia are that's cool, I like it, or have my child. So like those are the general views you get. So like you can have liberals oopsie daisy themselves into it pretty easily. And you can have conservatives operate in liberal spaces and do that stuff. That's literally our society right now, and the liberals will permit it. But just as an ideological project, no, that's a right-wing project. The minute you
Yeah, I
find
mean,
yourself in that
I'm not
neighborhood,
I'm not gonna argue that it's not a right
The
wing thing.
predominant course of the right wings.
Yeah, But
They've made it
I
very
will
clear.
argue with you that it does infiltrate left bases.
Well, again,
And
of course it does.
yeah.
Anarchists and liberals permit it. Communists, outside of the ones who actually are that way, who need to be purged, and I have told you how, so there's no like, oh, he'd be soft on them. No, I wouldn't.
No. I know you're not. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
I would
that.
not be
I'm
soft
just
on them. I would be
I'm
soft on
just
their
How
saying
purging.
come?
I would caution because
Now,
yeah.
as an unrelated aside, I have a question.
Why did
How
I
come
blame the
Dan gets
anarchists?
to say, no. I know why. That's not, I don't have a question about that. That's not confusing. Um, how come Dan gets to say that we're going to set the pedophiles on fire, but whenever I say I want to punch Nazis, I'm, taking the show too far.
Why? When have I ever said that? I believe.
You have said that these were not the legal recommendations, that legally these are jokes whenever I say I think that we should punch Nazis.
Well, legally, these are jokes. Because, like, right when, okay, the reason is that the pedophiles
See,
still have this,
again,
like, the pedophiles will lie to themselves through the Nazis to hide under that and then just be like, they're threatening to punch me in my feelings. When really, I'm threatening to burn them alive.
oh.
Right? But they can't be like, well, he's threatening to burn me alive. Why? I don't know.
Yeah, and I also want to make sure that nobody thinks that I was trying to stand up for diddlers.
Nobody,
Oh,
Is
we had
nobody thinks you're trying to do
okay.
that. Don't worry
Okay,
about
cool.
that.
I just want to make sure
we are,
that I
however,
like
going to
triple.
use it as a
Leverage.
threat in the future.
Yeah. If you try to quit the show.
We'll clip it. I'll clip
Yeah.
the shit out
Yeah.
of the fucker. Shit,
I'm
you
gonna
don't even
I'm gonna do it
you're
Dave
like,
Rubin style. To
We
boot.
don't think that's what you meant, but we're not saying we couldn't edit things creatively to look like that's what we thought you meant.
I
Just
Don't
saying.
worry,
I think
we're going to
good.
get it that way in
Germany
post.
left pedophile. You buy now? Look at that pro
Hello,
editing.
children.
When Dan and Jupiter, I'm laughing too hard. Oh, I can't even say my own name now. When Dan and Juniper get on that audio editing software, all hell breaks loose. The fidelity is perfect, and as you can see by how I chop those voices together, it's fucking seamless.
Yeah.
shit, nowadays it doesn't even matter. It is as long as they can get your voice, they can replicate it. So
Yeah.
who cares? I mean, really.
I like how AI is just a series of mimic boxes, and it's like a grammar editor that we had back in the 1990s, but now it's a fancy grammar editor, and they're like, the power of AI, soon it'll date for you. No, it won't.
Oh no, it's fancy in the sense that it's racist. It always turns racist.
It's funny that the
You
same,
let that
Why?
shit loose anywhere, it turns into the racist motherfucker
because,
because it's
well,
fed the most racist shit on the planet.
well, look at Tay. Look at Tay, though. What happened with Tay? They launched Tay, and then the racists were like, we'll get it to say the N word. And then it was just like, well, that took 10 minutes. Let's see if we can get it to say Hitler did nothing wrong. Oh, that took 5 minutes now that it already knows to say the N word. And it knows those
Well,
opinions are fair.
isn't that what like every New York Times opinion piece and like, Atlantic and New Yorker article is trying to say? So
Yeah.
in a way, sure, apparently AI is, learning to produce the kinds of things that people seem to want to hear
Produce.
or want to see in print. Like and to
Garbage
be
in,
fair,
garbage out.
to be fair, would I be sad that like what's his name? David Brooks, something Brooks? That motherfucker?
Mel
Would I
Brooks.
No. No, he publishes like bullshit in the New York Times, I think. Or like that Chesterton Thomas whatever the fuck dude. Or all of those different assholes that like get their opinion columns. Would I be sad if they lost their jobs because they farmed it out to AI? No. No, I would
Oh,
laugh. But
I had yes on the big board. My bad.
yeah, no, because those people aren't actually creatives. They're just human versions of the AI. They're spitting out
They're like
things.
a worse version of the AI. They're less efficient and more
Right.
expensive.
There's
And
no
more
real
creative.
creativity. There's no thought.
Well,
It's
they're
just
more creative than the AI, but just barely.
I think that's saying a lot. I mean, we can agree to disagree on that.
Whether or
but
not
yeah,
they're more creative than the AI. Oh God.
right. But the thing is, like, they're not using it to quote unquote outsource those motherfuckers. Of course not. They're using it to get rid of the jobs of, you know, Joe Bag of Donuts that really decided he wanted to be a journalist, and the best he got was like on the, local yard sales page, but he was earning a living until, this
The
decade.
AI machine.
Well, not like, I mean, earlier this decade, because they made him an independent contractor instead of an employee first, and we all know how that goes. And yeah,
Rare defense of TYT here. What do you think's easier to replicate? Something like TYT, where the thoughts and like the hosts and thoughts have independent opinions and go wild cards sometimes, or a New York Times think piece like, "Are poor people too fat? Maybe we should starve them more and cut their money." What body of content do you think has more shit out there that AI can just replicate that?
Yeah.
right. Well, I mean, then they played themselves, didn't they?
Yeah, which is awesome. Good. Let them get proletarianized and get pissed off.
But I'm saying they'll be the last ones to go.
Nah,
It'll happen, but all the people that actually try to, write
Listen,
stuff.
all I know is my job as Nazi puncher is secure in that an AI definitely can't take that job from me.
Yeah, it could. All you need is an
Oh
AI to know an
no.
arm to go
Oh
out and
no.
punch.
The AI punching robot. It's come for my job.
Yeah, it's coming for your job, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they would just one of those Boston Dynamics dogs.
Well, they wouldn't. You know what? No, I take that back. It couldn't take that job because they'd never in a million years make a Nazi punching robot. They'd rather punch a child who is like, Karl Marx was a nice guy. They'd punch that child all day.
Yeah.
Right.
They would.
The
They would fucking-
anti-fascist punching robot.
Yeah, they would never have a robot punch a Nazi. It'd be so easy too. They could just be like, whatever source we got data from to feed you, yeah, just go hit it.
I
as people input data, you go find them and punch them.
You could just literally program it to do domestic abuse at that point. Like you hit them because you love them. Like if what they have to say hits your positive feedback sensor, punch them to show your love, and you just train it to do that. Like you can train domestic abuse real easy. It's just a fucked up. Like at the end of the day, at the simplest level, the computing level, it is just inverse love.
Why did we make a robot that's a domestic abuser? That's great.
Because we could.
So
Like
that
that's
the
the only way.
on tour and make sure that somebody's minding his wife.
Yeah. She'll be like, my God, it's like my husband never left. But the sex has gotten 10% better. And then it goes to beat her in front of the husband. He goes to the dude comes home and he like, you fuck the robot, I'll beat you for cheating on me, and then the robot beats him too.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
We should make a sitcom
Actually,
about
what
that.
sounds right to me is that the robot pulls him off the wife and then proceeds to show him how he ought to beat her.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Yeah,
beats
that's what I
him
was thinking
And
too.
everyone learns a valuable lesson.
about domestic abuse and how to get better at it. Sorry, I'm eating pudding. Dude, my computer should not be 10 inches.
Not Jello pudding pops, though, right?
Not the pudding pops. Not the pudding pops. I can kind of do that voice. I can't really do Cosby, though, so I don't like to do Cosby. I can still do
Cosby should
Obama.
die.
To be honest, I don't
And
really want to talk about Cosby anyway. So
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Make fun. You know, we can make fun of Cosby, but I can't do the voice. So like making fun of Cosby isn't as fun if you can't do. Like Obama's a great target because I can do that voice. You know.
I do know what you mean.
Let me be clear. I've got 2 turntables and they're both up my ass.
where's your microphone?
Oh,
Let me be queer.
let me be queer.
It's Pride Month.
We missed out on Obama doing that one. That would have been amazing if he had just been like, "Let me be queer."
In a perfect world.
Yeah, if Obama had been fucking cooler. Like that little
Like,
bitch though.
what would happen different?
If Obama had
If
been like, "Let me be queer,"
no, I
he
mean,
he would have been
we,
called he would have been called the
well,
first
I
gay
mean
president.
that would be further down the road. What I was gonna say
Yeah.
is what would be different if he had actually decided to expend all of his social capital on passing like a real fucking healthcare bill rather than like negotiating it to death with the Senate and like throwing out all the provisions that would have made it like actually worthwhile.
The,
Like if he had just decided to go balls to the wall, like right when he got in there and be like, fuck the next, 3 3/4 years. He would have been able to come out at the beginning of Pride Month, like wearing leather daddy shit and being like, let me be queer. Like it's Pride Month. Like he would have been able to do anything because who the fuck cares?
yeah.
If it was about getting shit done, but
It
that
depends. If he apologized for it, nothing would have changed. If he apologized for passing that health care bill in a way that we could have actually used, nothing would have changed. If he passed it and it was like, I did that, the Democrats did it, instead of wasting all of his capital on trying to pass the Trans-Pacific, like the TPP, I think, believe it was that the Trans-Pacific Partnership. If he hadn't,
yeah, that popped up later. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and if he hadn't wasted his social capital on that,
But TPP was after he still had social capital to use, but he didn't want to drain it on, you know, fucking providing healthcare to,
yeah,
the people that live here, like every other quote unquote civilized country. And quite a few that aren't considered quote unquote civilized,
Is it alright if I
like France.
if you what,
if I invite El?
yeah, yeah, invite viewers or speakers, I don't care. Yeah, well, like that would have been like it would have been better. Like okay, here's the thing. We would have okay, so let's game this out, right? He would have passed healthcare in 20 whatever. He would have got reelected. What did he actually do in his lame duck term, in his second term? What did he actually do besides the Trans-Pacific Partnership?
I like how we're all fucking silent.
Yeah.
Mm.
What? Okay, so
I mean, like, I guess he kind of cemented some of Obamacare.
the Mitt Romney part of it, not actually Medicare for all. What if he had gunned for the big one, right? If he had gunned for Medicare for all, I it I still say it depends on what like after he would have done, like what he would have done afterwards. Because if he would have done what I think he would have done, which is apologize to the right for it, nothing. We'd still have Trump.
Yeah, I don't think that would have. I don't think that would have made a difference to the in that.
Yeah, it like that's the thing, and that's the thing I think he would have done. I think he would have just like ran essentially during Hillary Clinton's trying to get elected. I think he would have just been apologizing for passing universal health care. He'd been really sorry, and we would have gotten Trump because they would have just thrown all their money behind Trump then in retaliation instead of running on like, we got it, people, motherfuckers are happy now. You'll live past 30. You're gonna be fine.
Despite your best efforts.
Despite the best efforts of this society, you will live past 30 now because you can afford to go to the doctor for $10. That's me. I did that. And the person I think should be in charge next to protect it is Hillary Clinton. Like, he could have done that, right? Which he would not have done, even though it would have been self-aggrandizing. He would have apologized to his, like his bosses, his masters, right? In capitalism. What he did instead was he spent all his political capital on the thing that he wanted, which put Hillary Clinton in a real bind because, of course, it was just a drag on the economy. It was another potential drag on the economy. It was another drag on social welfare programs, which is what they really wanted to use to attack it. Because then anybody from any of these other countries could have just sued our social welfare systems and been like, it's violating my rights, and we could just gotten rid of it. And like, if you're like, no, they can't make lawsuits that ridiculous, fucking bet. Look at what they're doing now. Look at what they're doing now, and you tell me what would have happened differently. And he would have been on apologizing for it while pushing the TPP. I think if he had done it and been strong, we would have been stuck with the PPP. I don't think there would have been any energy to fight that.
Like, if he would have done it in his first year of his first term and then stuck it out for 8, then he could have probably pushed it. But
yeah,
because then it would have been ingrained, right? Like, at
that
point.
Instead of coming, like, he was really close to losing to Romney by comparison than he was to like McCain. I think he would have blown Romney out. He would have had back-to-back dunking contests and just completely blown out. Just completely blown them out.
Because now but yeah, you're right. It would have. I don't know.
That's what my gut tells me. Like, I think he would have just blown him out of the water. We would have been stuck with TPP, and we would have gotten Trump during COVID. We were due for Trump. Like, that's the problem we have. Like, as a country, we were careening towards this dictatorial, creepy old man, and there isn't a way to avoid it, because eventually, like, even if Obama did the correct thing and passed universal health care, what would Biden have done or Hillary have done that would have kept that train a rolling? Nothing. I shoot right wingers under the case of Hillary, but even Joe Biden just gives them blowjobs. When they're like, that weak old man, I'm like, I bet his head game's weak. He's 80 years old, man. That's mean. Like, you're like, this old man isn't blowing me hard enough. That's all. Like, that's all he's done. Look what he's doing for that fucking Keebler elf Netanyahu. You know what I mean? That fucking weirdo. He spends all of his time blowing that guy instead of like doing anything useful, and then he's like, I don't know why I'm losing, Mac. It's weird. I'm giving Netanyahu everything he wants. Netanyahu hates me, and then the country hates me, and I don't understand it.
Well, one thing like that I tend to think was an unequivocal good was he was the one that finally took the hit to go ahead and like get the fuck out of Afghanistan, or as much as we ever get the fuck out of anywhere.
But he added 2 wars after.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing. It's like, yeah, I mean, well, proxy wars.
I mean, we're the ones. There are guns and our bombs. It's not our troops.
Yeah, but
give you that.
And that I think that's an important thing. Like, when it comes to the hearts and minds of the American people. Like, if it's not your kid getting blown up, you tend to look a little more kindly on war, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if it's happening to somebody else, I mean, it probably needs to happen. I mean, if that's the only thing that keeps line go up, dope, But when it's your kid, you tend to realize the awful truth. And like, I think it's interesting that they don't even try to capitalize on that, because maintaining constant war is so important that they don't want to like advertise like, oh, we could just stop.
Yeah,
Like
stopping was always an option, but if we advertise that fact, that means we can have
right.
less of the thing we like.
Right. So it's like we don't want to tell people we could just stop. So they can't even advertise like the one thing I can think of that I'm happy about happened during this fucking thing.
He caught a lot of flack from the conservative Democrats to the Republicans for pulling out of Afghanistan to boot. So, like, when people are like, why is he going all in on these? It's because he just caught heat for pulling out of the Middle East. Even though, like, even without the student debt relief, which was like, that was bad, and without the extra COVID payment, right? Without the extra COVID payment and the student debt relief, that
Yeah,
was
Vic
bad.
still owes me $600.
Correct, but people were willing to cope with being owed $600 because they were like, well, he didn't shut off this forever war, but we're still in Iraq, so he didn't bother to shut that off because of course he's trying to fight with Iran because he wants to appease of all people Lindsey Graham. Like that's what that
Well,
telegraph.
the other thing is if we ever stop all operations over there, then like the whole thing with having the FISA court starts to look a little shaky. Like,
Right.
what's our Patriot Act doing? Like, why are we keeping it intact? People might question that. Can't have that. Can't. No.
No.
You can't turn off that fire hose. So you gotta, liberals can have little unrest in the Middle East as a treat.
I mean, that kind of is it, though, right? Like, that's really it. Like, we got to have some level of it, otherwise, we can't justify all the other shit the Nat state wants to be doing, which Biden is a real hardcore support of, even though his supporters are not as keen on that idea, we'll say. Or at least the group he needs to overwhelmingly support him, which, like, he's losing in. Which, if, like, again, like, if you were being like that much of a fucking loser, wouldn't you rethink what you were doing? Like, but no, I guess you
What do
wouldn't.
you mean? He's
Right?
never had to rethink anything in his life. What do you,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
What do you mean rethink?
My city council just voted
I
to
think
get rid of their clean
I-
syringe program.
Who did?
I think the main
My city council,
Ugh.
they voted to get rid of and ban any clean syringe program within the city limits and make it illegal.
Ew.
Yeah, after 4+ hours of testimony from healthcare professionals, 44 people asking them, please do not create this ordinance.
Well, what do those people know about healthcare?
Oh, those
Can't be
healthcare
anything
professionals? I don't.
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Not a single one.
That's knows
Addiction,
anything.
doctors.
No, that doesn't sound right. Because I don't feel like it should sound right, I guess.
Yeah, it was terrible, and the amount of fascism. They still voted 5-2.
That it's appeasing the ideological anti-science movement, which is like
Yep.
the worst thing I'll say there is the unfortunate part that they are peeling a lot of non-whites for that, which is bad. And like by peeling a large amount, you're talking like you're pulling at the Donald Trump 10%, but Trump shouldn't have 10% support. What you should see is a fracturing of like probably 1% is dedicated to Republicans. There's probably a 4% that wavers towards Republicans. And then you should see now this is all non-whites, not excluding Latinos. There's a reason for that. And then you should probably see about 4% undecided, and then you should see probably around 50% leaning towards Dems and the others leaning like further left. Out of literal survival. Like that's what you would expect to see in a situation like this. There's a small group of your top 1 or your top 10% maybe, but in a population size that small, you're talking about like 1 to 2% of the overall population. And then no, you're seeing like 10% rates with another like 10 to 15% sympathetic because they're just that pissed off at Democrats, which tells you how bad Democrats are actually doing. and it tells you how far they've shifted conservatively. That they would rather I'd rather just negotiate with the master directly than have this fucking middleman business manager snidely tell me what I can say to the master. You know what I mean? Now Latinos are different because the Latinos come in two variants. They come in the persons of color variant and they come in the fucking white variant. And surprise, surprise, the white variant of Latino, sure do talk like white people, right down to the same insane conspiracy theories. Like they have their own version of Hyperborea in Mexico, which conveniently leaves out all the indigenous Latinos. You know what I mean? Like the Latinos who are also legit indigenous, it leaves them out. Like
It's El Dorado, by the way, for those of you who aren't
it's
keeping
not.
score at home.
It's not El Dorado. It's something even more fucked up.
It always has been. Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like called
I'm gonna look
Children of
this
the
up
Stars.
now.
Yeah, look up Children of the Stars.
Oh, I take it back. I've heard of this before. God damn it.
Yeah. Like and it's like it's really unsurprising to me that across the Latin American sphere that the white what we would call Latinos, right? That we would just generically lump in persons of color. Yeah, it's weird. Latinos don't see them like white Latinos don't see themselves as persons of color, do they? Like that's not how they view themselves. That's not where they class empathize. And indeed, you look at somebody like Rafael Cruz. It's weird they never talk about him being a fucking Mexican. You know what I mean? It's because conservatives largely agree he isn't. They
He's also
largely agree. What's up?
he's also Cuban. I think his family was Cuban.
Yeah, but let's take it from their point of view. Do you think they actually know there's a difference?
I mean, I'm Mexican, and I don't really care if there's a difference either. So.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, do you think the white Anglo-Saxon conservative WASP, do you think they actually know a difference?
No, but I think, and you're right, and that's part of the issue is that, unfortunately, seeing it in my own community, it's not even just the white-looking Latinos that feel that way. That kind of thinking is also transferring into, I guess, the person of color, the POC Latinos, but the basis that they're connecting with it in is religion and not necessarily anti-science, but anti-leftist. Because remember, a lot of these places, a lot of Latinos come from countries, South America, Central America, where they're the stuff that they ran from, that they tried to escape from, was all labeled as radical leftist, socialists, communist
Right.
governments by the United States media and the United States politicians. So whenever they get here, and then they hear their conservatives, no matter how dark you are, you hear your conservatives going, oh, these communists are here in America trying to take our country. All their brains is going like, I just ran from these fools. I'm not going to do this here. I'm not going to do that again here. So I'll vote for this guy. Sure, he may want to deport me back to my home country, but I'll trust him a little bit.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what's weird to me? They didn't when the deportation started, because what I would expect out of that population is, right, when they went with the hardcore conservative, they started getting just deported, right? That was Trump's big move. You saw all those people who were coming up here and then immediately getting deported for no rhyme or reason other than being quote unquote Mexican. Didn't matter where they were from, really. They didn't care, right? They just generically use the term Mexican for this purpose. Which is, it's always fun to mash 9 races together, but whatever. Okay, fine. 9 nationalities, 1 race. Okay, sure. Well,
look, all the food rocks. That's all that matters.
Yeah, the food. Well, I'll give you that. It's better than what we're eating up here. I'm Slavic, so all my food is garbage. Slavs, I like Slavs better than normal whites, because sometimes we're not considered white. We're not persons of color, but we're not white either. But
I'm a hockey fan, so I agree with you.
Stuffed cabbage.
Yeah.
I am gonna go out there and say that stuffed cabbage done properly, it fucks. Seriously.
Isn't that more of an Anglo food though? Isn't that more like Irish and Anglo and Welsh?
No, that's like Slavic and Balkan. It's Eastern European as fuck.
Am I thinking of stewed cabbage?
Maybe.
I'm getting. By the way,
stuffed cabbage is basically when you make a dumpling out of a cabbage leaf.
Oh,
and
I am
then
thinking of stewed.
you
I'm thinking of stewed is what I'm stewed and boiled. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
right.
All
Well,
right.
you make the dumpling out of a cabbage leaf. You put the stuffing inside. You
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
seal it shut. Yeah, and then you stew it in something orange. Might be peppers, might be tomatoes, might be who the fuck knows. You don't really want to ask.
Once you hit America, it's a combination of whatever. See, let me ask you first off. Let me get your name here because I'm Dan Cohen. I'm technically the leader, I guess, of our little weird leftist collective.
Oh,
Hi, Lost Doctor 312.
Lost
Juniper Nest
Doctor.
Pharmacy, Farm Tech. I kind of jumped in here
Yeah.
on their recommendation
No.
from Mindful Wellness. So
Sweet. I just need a name to refer you to. So Doc. All right. So doctor to doctor now. Um, this is fun. We're gonna keep this bit going forever. Um, so yeah,
doctor.
doctor.
A
Um,
peer review.
yeah, kind of like that. So let me ask you this on the religious angle. This is the one thing I'm curious about because like North America, largely like I'm gonna largely talk here Canada and how do I want to phrase this division? So like Mexico's far more Catholic than we are up in the north, and like
Mhm,
all our hate groups usually used to lump the Catholics in the non-whites they hated.
mhm.
It's my understanding Catholicism is a little more rooted in Mexico because of the Spanish invaders, right? Is that
Oh yeah,
relative?
absolutely.
So this religious bend is that coming through like a perverted Catholicism then?
It. Yes, I mean,
Okay.
short answer. But also the assimilation of the indigenous folks and the wiping out of all of the the belief systems that they had
Yeah.
was so uh, systematic and fast that for we're dealing with multiple generations of Catholics who are now fully ingrained in it, and to the point where even atheism in Mexico, like in Mexico specifically,
Hmm.
can be seen as like you know radical leftism.
Satanic.
Kind of, yeah, to a certain extent. In Mexico, especially in a lot of rural areas in Mexico, atheism you may as well just be saying I'm a Satanist. And because of that, whenever those people who are from those areas, because it's a lot of the people from the areas that emigrate to the United States, they still hold on to that. So who are they going to see if they move to like Texas, Florida, other places in the South? They're going to see all these televangelists. They're going to see all these preachers, doom, fire and brimstone, all the stuff that like they're not they're used
But they're
to, but not
Christians.
in this way.
Those
Exactly.
guys are Christians.
But
And
they're sitting there going,
I hate
but
to
they're sitting there
break it
going,
to you, but the seeing atheists or like pagans, non monotheistic folks as like basically the devil.
mhm.
That was here in like the 80s and 90s. Like that's not new to us, but it's interesting to see that religious bias carried over when other people moved here from somewhere else.
Well, the thing with that is it's it's much older in Mexico because even like the kind of reconstruction period that Mexico had in from like the 40s to the 60s, where a lot of these areas in Mexico were booming with industry because of a certain, I can't remember the name of the law, but it was a certain law that allowed for like tax breaks and tax exemptions that helped these industries boom in certain areas in Mexico.
Hmm.
It was still there, and all of these like civil rights fights and voting rights fights and everything like that in Mexico were still rooted in a lot of religion. Were still rooted in Catholicism. They were still led by church. They were still led by people of strong religious belief. So that has been around for a very long time in Mexico. The whole, what, you don't believe in any god? Cool, Satan, get out of here. So, like I said, now they move here, they see these televangelists. Sure, he's Christian. It's not quite my God, but it's better than having no God. So I'll vote for him.
Okay, I have heard that sentiment like echoed before, so like that's good to reconfirm. You hear it from one person off the street with one point of view. You take it for what it's worth. You hear it twice. That's actually, for me, that's good enough. You know what I mean? Two separate antidotes
And
that come up the same way. Like I
and
dig that.
also and also just to bounce off of your point, Doc, about like white Latinos versus POC Latinos. Even the POC Latinos in the United States, once they get here and they start being brainwashed by conservative politics,
Yeah.
they do the same thing that other immigrants do, which is, oh, they're not talking about me. I'm one of the good ones,
Right.
regardless of their
Yep.
Mexican color, regardless of where they came from, regardless of even their class in the United States. They're still going to look at their neighbor, who's just as dark as they are, who's doing the same job, and they're just going, oh no, they're not talking about me. They're talking about them. That is so prevalent, and that is preyed upon by a lot of conservative politicians to say like, well, we say these things about these immigrants, but we're not talking about you. You're here. You're our family. We believe in the same God. You're with us.
You my
But
buddy. Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm. Now I've
It's
seen
those others.
I've seen that behavior before too. Like I knew that one was like really popular. Slavs do that all the time. The Slavs live like that though. To be fair, I left because that neighbor sucked. If he shows up here, he's one of the bad ones. Get him out. Like we do that to ourselves on a Tuesday. So like yeah, I can see that one being replicated pretty fucking easily. Just another Tuesday in Slovenia. You know what I mean? To borrow an expression there. Okay. So no, that's interesting to have that back. I appreciate that second opinion there, Doctor. Um,
No problem.
but yeah, when we're thinking about the white American racist, you know what I mean? Like that standard kind of, I don't even remember where that point was, but I was going to go off on it. Like I just want to reiterate how much of a pedophile I think they are. Um,
Had to rewind that back to
okay,
that point.
actually, yeah. Let me ask you that too. Is that the same? Because like all of our right wingers are weirdly enough also 100% pedophiles. Is that
It's,
also the case?
I mean, yeah, kinda. It's pretty prevalent. Um,
On the right.
but yeah, on
Yeah.
the right, but they because it's such a heavily Catholic country, what happens to Catholic pedophiles here in the United States? Not a damn thing. So what happens to heavily Catholic pedophiles in places of power in Mexico? Same answer.
Yeah, not a
So
goddamn thing.
it's just an uphill battle. It's just an uphill battle no matter what, because
Hmm.
there's also still this whole like through line of misogyny through all forms of civil rights fights throughout Mexican American history, like
Rape is
Chicanos.
okay
Mexico.
as long as you marry her afterwards.
I mean, I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but but like even the Chicano movement in the California in the '60s was like, yeah, cool, civil rights for all these people, except for our women because they deserve to be in the just we're Harrison Butgering them back to the kitchen even back then, and all this misogyny and stuff is still very prevalent in even leftist spaces in Mexico. So like, yeah, cool, they have done a lot of good stuff that American leftists would be like jealous of, especially like getting abortion kind of being put into the Constitution in upcoming elections or being going to be voted on. Still not great with other women's issues and rights.
Some room
Like,
to grow. What is what's the mantra for that? Every struggle has its own contradictions, right? That's the I
yep,
think that have to be
yep.
overcome at some point and confronted. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm always
For
curious about
America's.
that.
America's never had any struggles that had to be overcome. Definitely no civil wars that had to be fought.
No, none. Where would you ever get the idea? Huh. Okay. No, that's kind of neat. All right. don't know. We started somewhere. Then I got hung up. We had a good discussion.
Yeah, I'm still angry that I'm being told that I'm not allowed to punch Nazis for fun
Oh,
and
well,
profit.
okay. I'll give you a redaction on that. You can go punch Nazis whenever you want.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yes. There's the second opinion. There you go.
That's the nicest thing I think I've ever heard on this show.
What?
Aww.
I want,
I'll
I
throw
want
you
that in my wedding vows.
You can punch Nazis.
Nazis whenever you want.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It's kind of like hitting the back walls, hitting the Nazis off the walls. Same thing. I mean, I'll say this, right? I'll say this. Trotsky, like, everybody rags on Trotsky, but Trotsky's opinion on Nazis was like, well, what you do when you see them in public, right, is you smash their head off the pavement. Now, they'll die, or they'll think twice about saying Nazi shit around you. Either way is fine. It doesn't really matter what happens to them. It matters that you do it, which is like,
Both cases are a success.
yeah, like, like, okay, I'm just saying, like, I'm not I'm not a mega Trotskyist or anything, but you can't say he was wrong. Like, it's in
How about
writing. He
that?
said it. He's correct. You just hit them, and if they die from it, oh well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
every broken jaw is one less jaw to do Nazi shit.
that's right. If you break their jaw, they can't use their mouth for Nazi shit. It's a perfect.
What
thing.
are you gonna tell me you're pro them doing Nazi shit?
Yeah.
Please
And-
let me
and here's
know
the
if
thing,
you
it-
think you're pro them doing Nazi shit.
Because it's also like, you can talk about hearts and minds all you want, but the reality is, like, if he's still a Nazi on the inside, but he's also staying
Then-
inside his house and
Yeah.
he's not doing Nazi acts or talking Nazi shit where I can find out about it. I mean, same difference in the material sense.
That's God damn, what's his name? Son of a bitch.
Cenk Engels.
Adolf Reed Jr. That's it. Adolf Reed. Terrible first name. Terrible first name.
Born 1940. Period.
1947.
Oh,
1940 question.
Yeah. I don't know what's up with his dad.
Is it a PH, Adolf, at least?
It is.
All right, all right.
okay. It's getting a little better.
Yeah, Adolf Reed.
Just Adolf's meat tenderizer, dope as fuck. But that's
Yeah.
a PH one.
That's-
Just saying.
What they don't.
Anyway,
what they
continue.
what they don't say is that his middle name is Mussolini. Weird.
Adolf Mussolini Reed Jr. No, he's a political scientist. He's weighed in on that one before, right? Is it better if the Nazi is loud or quiet? Like Michael Jordan Peterson and I like our Nazis loud so we know who to punch, right? But
Yeah.
he likes his Nazis quiet because he doesn't have to hear a bunch of Nazi shit, which is like that's fair.
Can't argue with that too much. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
Pretty solid logic.
Dead Nazi.
I've
I like
argued
my
that at work.
Nazis weirdly loud and then surprisingly quiet after the fact.
And missing.
They ain't missing. Ain't nobody missing that shit.
No. Oh fuck.
Yeah, I don't miss.
I ain't missing them. Fuck. I apologize for being dry. I ran out of gas, man. I've been testing for that Value Vintage event, and I'm getting ready for tomorrow, and I still have work to do on that tonight, so I'm lagging ass bad today. Let's see, what was in the news? Nothing about Palestine. Weird that America doesn't want to talk about that anymore.
Sorry, I feel like I brought everyone down with all the Mexico stuff and how awful it is.
You did not bring them
No?
down. I'm just tired. There was somewhere I was originally going, then we got off on that good tangent, which was actually useful, instead of whatever dumb joke that was going to end with being gay with my dad, and then
Oh, that old chestnut.
Yeah,
It's the best chestnut.
it's
It's our
it's the
favorite chestnut.
it is a right winger's
You like
favorite
it?
nut. His dad's nut.
As long as you clean it off my chest, I don't care.
Yeah. Right wingers don't clean it off. That's why they're awful.
Yeah.
You just leave it.
You let it dry and you
Sympathy.
put a flag right there for America.
You play. Yeah, that's right. I planted a Blue Lives Matter flag in my bust on your chest, boy. Thanks, Dad. I'm gonna go to work now because I'm 47. I have said that I think my favorite joke about right wingers is they're all 47-year-old men who've been turned down to go to the high school prom by their dads, and that's why they're all conservative and pissy. Which doesn't make much sense until you realize like all these people are just obsessed with like being young again because their entire lives have been a fucking epic fail because they're right wingers. Why don't
It's
girls
like
like me? You're 47. Stop talking like that.
And
it's like
none of their daddies like them. Not a
Yeah.
single fucking one. They all hated them. They all beat the shit out of them.
Yeah. Look at Ross
it's like my
Douthat.
favorite joke.
Oh, go for
Yeah,
it.
it's like my favorite joke for liberals.
Yeah.
What do you get when you put 50 liberals in a room?
What?
100 different opinions.
Yeah.
Correct. The corollary to the gay with my dad joke is that the liberals just want to be trans with their mom. They don't want to do anything useful. They just want to be like, oh, look at me, I'm special. Which is like funny because the conservative critique is always that trans people are trying to be special, right? But every like left wing trans person I know is like, I'm fighting to survive and then I try to do good by my allies. And every liberal trans person is like, look, I drank a mimosa today. And it's like, okay, well, you're
You're doing a thing.
you're definitely trans with your mom. Thanks for doing the thing. And then like a Republican will be like, my dad is so hot.
Look, if you want to say Keffels, just say.
Kevels be doing hardcore shit. Kevels is not doing like mimosas. She's not stopping at the mimosa. She's doing meth. Did you see that story?
Yeah.
Yeah, shit was amazing.
I did not. What was it? Lay it on me.
Oh. Keffels had to come. Like, I guess somebody caught that Keffels was lying about the whole Kiwi Farms thing. Which, like, I'm gonna argue, and this is the most tepid defense of Keffels ever. No smoke without fire. They were posting that they wanted to kill her on there, but like, if you take one step back, at that time, who wasn't posting that they wanted to kill Keffels? Like, so that wasn't as like dangerous as it seemed. The swatting event came from another website allegedly. The swatting event ended with her arrest. They didn't actually blow her stuff up, and she wanted to move. But she alleges she wanted to move due to her ex, which like now you can't trust that because like you're already lying about this. Like, why wouldn't you start lying about an abusive ex? Like you already lied about swatting. You went way further than an abuse. Like if you had just started with, I gotta leave because of my abusive ex, people would have just paid you money forever. That could have been your ex from 30 years ago, and people would have just kept pressing button, paying you money. So like, why you were like, it's my, like why I had to start with a swatting event. She alleges she really was swatted, but it was not as violent as she portended. Which like, I guess if you answer your door, they don't go as violent. I guess that's what's going on there. She just answered and they were like, you're under arrest. But then she alleges the police decided to blow some of her shit up anyway, which is like, what? Why? They would just steal your shit and sell it, is what they do. Like, the cops are just literally robbing you. That's what civil asset forfeiture is. It's just robbery. So, like, why would they take all these extra steps? Like, none of it adds up. And it just
This is just
perpetuates.
robbery with less success and extra steps.
Yeah. So it's like, none of the shit she
Not
said.
as much money.
Now that she's reneged on her original story, none of the shit she says makes absolutely any fucking sense. None of it at all. And then she's like, I guess asking, I don't even know if she asked for forgiveness, did she? I don't think she did. I think she was just like, yeah, that's what happened. I still need your money. Please continue donating to my GoFundMe, which you now can't show that went to anything good. Did I get the details right? I read the story in like 2 seconds, and I was like, okay, cool. We got a grifter. For
Yeah, that's
somebody.
pretty much.
Okay, neat. I'm good at this, man. I'm so good at this. Like, not to brag, but if I can read something in 2 minutes, I can pretty much get the gist of it. I'm gonna go read the U.S. Constitution, see what's going on with that thing. I'm gonna give that a
I tried that in high school. I tried that in high school. It didn't go very well.
What to give it a read?
Yeah.
Why is this weird? These conservatives keep saying the founding fathers would want them to blow each other, but I see nothing about that in here. They're just babbling. They're just talking about maybe there's a 3/5 compromise for that too, being gay with your dad. I don't understand these people.
Boy, this is the worst fanfic I've ever read.
Ooh, that would be fun.
I read My Immortal.
Don't
Oh
mind
God.
Gay
Oh God.
founding-
I didn't think I would ever hear that name of that fanfic ever again. Oh my God.
Biden
I got
said
them
he
deep
isn't
cuts.
gonna. He isn't gonna do any debates against Trump.
How?
Why? He's a master debater.
Okay. So I did the thing. I may or may not have Googled gay founding father fan fiction.
Oh, I'm sure there's a ton.
Well,
Rule 34. Rule 34, baby.
Alexander Hamilton has recently been accepted into King's College and he's scared. He's never had friends growing up and has too much to say at once. And that
Oh my
is
God, I need to make a video about that.
that is from Slipping into the Future, which this is the pejorative use. I have to spoil it here. This is the pejorative use of the term, which I'm not necessarily a fan of, but there is something funny to put in gay founding fathers fan fiction. And to find a fanfic where Lin-Manuel Miranda meets Alexander Hamilton and verbally blows him.
Nice.
But I think that begs a very important question. Where is MJP?
I don't know. I thought I heard him. I thought I heard the air horn. I thought that was him.
Yeah,
That
I
was
thought so
me.
too.
That was you?
Oh, nice. You
Sorry.
get the soundboard.
Nah,
Nice.
it's fine. That was. I just thought it was. I thought it was just heralding him in, not being awesome with the soundboard. Which
But
is
do
also
you
acceptable.
have Meatwad?
Do you have Meatwad?
Well, you got an asshole.
Yeah. All right, that's the important thing.
Where is
Okay,
that? Where
carry
is
on.
the soundboard?
It's the little
on the board.
yeah.
What? What soundboard?
Well, you see, first you have to buy on a high, and then you have to look it up to your MacBook.
Okay.
Same
On-
theory. Say theory. Stop worrying about
The little
soundboards.
the little horn icon down towards the bottom. It's like on the
Well, you got an
right
asshole.
side.
Oh,
There
shit.
you go.
Here we go again.
You guys gonna drag me for this, huh? Okay.
Gay!
Who has been adding shit to our soundboard and not telling me because it's awesome?
I'm not gay, but I'll learn.
Oh my god.
You guys gonna drag me for this, huh? Okay.
Betrayal.
Yeah.
Betrayal.
Well, you got an
That
asshole.
voice,
Here we go again.
that voice just brought back
Oh.
memories.
Playing the
rest of
betrayal.
the show.
Don't make me post our large adult son again.
Oh, not the golem. Don't post the golem. Don't go golem posting, please.
But when you play the Halo betrayal, dude, that's what I think of.
You think of John Fetterman?
Yeah.
Yes.
I do too. To be fair.
God damn, we live in the worst possible fucking timeline. Although, like,
What's wrong with that?
although,
I
like,
mean, in fairness, I could like have pizza delivered to my house in like 2 clicks. So I think it's pretty damn good.
That's right.
But we could have had that and healthcare, and the golem would have been our friend. He would have been our golem.
The world is terrible, but I can still get treats, so it's dope. I can get cigarettes delivered to my house now.
Did you all? Oh, that yeah.
Fucking
I
incredible.
could. When I lived in the Denver area, I could have gotten weed delivered to me.
That's just
A weed
libertarianism.
delivery.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Cigarettes, though, that's hard.
That's libertarianism. It's not an advancement to have libertarianism under a libertarian society. It's not as advancing as you think. It's weird that it took this long to get the thing. Well, I'm surprised we can't you can't hand deliver meth these days. Freedom, a never getting back hog. Okay.
Well, I mean, it depends on your dealer and how he gets around.
I was gonna say you could. It just depends on whether you want to.
Oh, here we go. All right. Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton. Aaron Burr. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I'm mumble mouthing, but I just wanted to read this intro of Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr having gay sex on a fanfic. Why those two?
Didn't write this shit.
We had Lincoln right there.
Does one shot the other?
I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. So it's like shooting like the dicks, but now it's
a lovers. It's a lovers.
Enemies to lovers to
enemies to
enemies.
lovers slow burn.
Enemies to lovers. Well, it better pick up fucking fast. One of them shoots the other one.
Well, that's how it starts.
Oh, with the shooting.
Yes,
Well, otherwise you don't get the bonus hole.
that's right. Oh God.
Okay, guys, I need to take you guys to HR for a moment. We can't.
Okay, that's fair.
We can't do.
We can't be talking about the bonus hole.
We can't do content where we pitch shooting an American politician is just a bonus hole for gay sex. Like, you understand that, right? We can't do that.
I mean, we can.
What if you do?
We literally just did.
Well, what if you do
Well, then
it to a woman so it's straight sex?
You can't talk about shooting an American politician to create a bonus hole for sex, for penetrative sex.
Okay, fine. We'll just talk about animals' bonus holes and their blowholes. There, is that better?
No,
We're
it is not.
When you
my
say-
true horror senses are going off.
When you say you can't, do you mean
Hey,
it is
y'all,
illegal
I'm fucking
to?
humanity tonight.
You know what? I'm just gonna say this. I'm feeling a little censored here, and my freedom of speech says that I can say that,
I did not.
and I am a person of color, so
When
I'm just gonna have.
when did you transition into a conservative white woman? Is my question to you.
I mean, I was a registered Republican until about 2015, so
No
there's that.
kidding.
Yeah,
Oh.
never actually voted Republican, but I was because I was brought up having the difference
Yeah,
between
that's just how you register.
the big government, little government, and me being in Chicago, I'm so used to coastal bias and people on the coast thinking that they can make the decisions for everyone. So I got bitter and decided, well, I want the Illinois to be able to do what it's best for Illinois. California doesn't care about our snow plow coverage and our salt, stuff. But I never actually voted Republican because John McCain chose Sarah Palin, and the rest is history.
Lipstick
Yeah,
on a
but
pig.
considering on the local level, like the conservatives would generally want to be like, we don't want you guys to have community snow plows anymore. We think you should have to like pay for that shit, unless you're really rich, in which case we'll do it for you. Like,
it is Illinois.
Voting against your own interests.
I mean, it is Illinois, so like,
all of your
our
choices are bad.
Yeah, and also we've had like 4 Democratic governors be arrested for corruption, so like, doesn't really matter, honestly.
Smoke without gay sex.
Hell,
Something to think about.
are like
So did
Are, like-
Dave Rubin write this fucking shit?
No, Dave Rubin can't write. He can't read.
Yeah, that would have
barely talk.
necessitated Dave Rubin actually doing something.
Actually, I could do an impersonation of Dave Rubin trying to read. You ready?
Hmm.
Okay. So we got the 2012 United States presidential election. Wow, it's really cool. So there was a there was a presidential election. As I remember right, there was a black guy who was kind of white, and then there was a white guy who was really white, and I really liked him. I couldn't put my finger on why. That's what this Wikipedia article says. It's amazing. I can make fun of Dave Rubin all I want.
That just sounds like every political streamer, left or right.
Yeah, no, that's specifically Dave Rubin. It's really weird. So I was talking about Gyroscope Bolsonaro, the Brazilian president, and he told me that he was going to murder me for being gay. And I said, that's an interesting idea. Let's have a discussion about it. He said, I'm about to hang you now. And then he fell down a flight of stairs into a pie. And then he pulled on a cord that said "Pretty Woman," and an anvil fell out of the sky and hit him in the head. And then he slipped and fell into a bucket of tar. It's very weird. There's a lot of interesting ideas on the right, is what I'm saying.
And that's how he got MRSA.
That's how we got MRSA. I'm praying for Mr. Balsamic Vinaigrette's recovery, for one. Man's fucking dumb. Should you Michael
Say
Brooks?
what you want. That man makes a delicious salad dressing.
Yeah, his people, the Brazilians, make the most delicious salad dressing. What the fuck?
Has anyone noticed the downfall of the Green brothers in leftist minds? Hank and John Green.
They've gotten.
Who are?
Yeah, I don't. I do know Hank and John Green. Have they fallen? What have they done?
Just a lot of Israeli
Propaganda.
whataboutism. Yeah.
No, really? Why?
I don't know. It's been happening over the last 2 weeks or so, I think.
No.
Mainly on TikTok, because they'll put out a video and then people will call them out, and then they'll be deleting comments, and then they'll put up a video for their some kind of charity thing that they're doing. Delete more comments, and it's just kind of been a vicious cycle of that. It's they're running from saying anything about it.
Oh. I don't know. I don't know 100% of the fair to make.
Here we go again.
MJP's here.
I don't know if it's 100% fair to put that on two Psy streamers, but at the same time, you could just be I don't hate the kids. I don't hate the Palestinian children. That's all you had to do. That's all you have to do. That's the minimum level of effort. I did not know that Hank Green was getting chased on TikTok.
You just need to go to the Bill Burr School of Thought.
Yeah.
Which was one thing that was great to see this week, by the way.
What if I could do Bill Maher? I can do Bill Maher. Hold on. I'm just saying that my head's up my ass. I'm just saying that I can see what I had for dinner from the other side.
My favorite thing is his smug, when he tries to make a point and he starts talking slowly. What I'm really trying to say, is that these people are doing this and it's just makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, Bill Maher sucks. I've gotten so many. A lot of my Twitter jail time, an inordinate amount of my Twitter jail time is just telling him to go fuck himself, and he can't handle the heat. I'm like, you're a fucking moron. You're ridiculous. You're why people hate Jews. Do you understand people hate me because they hate you that much? It spills over into my fucking lap. I've done nothing. You don't fucking stand that you make other Jews hated. The reason I have said to Bill Maher that the reason Hamas shoots at Jews in Israel is because they hate you so fucking much. And with that logic in mind, it's iron fucking clad. You should just go to Israel and get shot. That way you can do everybody a fucking favor, and everybody will stop being anti-Semitic once you're dead.
he has that same thing all libertarians do, which is I'm a libertarian, so I'm so much smarter than everyone else, and I'm going to make sure you know that I'm a libertarian. They're like the vegans of politics.
They are the vegans
The
of politics.
vegans of politics. That's great.
Yeah, no, that's not wrong though. That's it's the exact same fucking attitude. I'm clearly smarter than you, so here's where I explain this very simple concept, but then doing so completely fucking wrong, it's embarrassing. What you think you know about hebephilia, what you think you know is wrong, and let me tell you why.
I also call it the Vosh, but maybe that's just me.
No, he's in the same boat. He's pretty proudly quote unquote a left libertarian, which is like,
I don't think that's a thing.
well,
Whatever that fucking means.
if he means he's a hardcore Marxist, sure. I don't think that's what he means.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think about the time that he was like, was he one of the ones? Was he one of the left ones who was like Russia should just invade Ukraine and it should be fine, or was he one of the nuke Russia people? I feel like he was a nuke Russia person.
Yeah, it sounds more in line.
Yeah, but I pay as little attention to him as possible. I like even like I don't even really care for Peterson that much, but he really got me like on his side whenever he went on Piers Morgan and told that dude to just shut the fuck up. I'm like, all right, I respect that.
Yeah,
I respect that a lot.
Telling Piers Morgan or anybody who's like his buddy to shut the fuck up is always good. I'll give him that, but no, he was a nuke Russia guy. Yeah, he was like a ramp up the security state. We should put boots on the ground guy. He was like, we need to really get up in that shit. That's right. That was Vaush. He was like, if they're gonna threaten to nuke us, we should just nuke them first. Which is like, no, that is not what you should do. What you should have done was made peace when you had the opportunity, instead of being like, yeah, but instead, what if Ukraine invaded Russia? And they were like, record scratch, and it was like, what? Yeah, no, it's possible. The fact that you have a smaller army than them and have to walk all that territory and they have nukes means nothing. You can just do it on gumption. And for some
bootstrap
sounds right.
Yeah. For some fucking reason too, countries keep listening to America about that shit. They're like, "You sure we can do that?" Yeah. Based on what? Well, based on these, arms manufacturers keep telling me you should, but they'll give you guns. You have you can just mass produce people, right? For considering you're 10 times you're 10 times tinier than them, you can just mass produce people, right? No, that's not a thing. Really? Huh.
America's
more people than we can deal with.
Yeah.
Right? America's like the friend that tells you to do something stupid while you're drunk, and then you tell them, "Oh, it's your turn." Then they back out.
Yeah. Immediately.
Then you're arrested and put on a list.
Yeah, and they're like, "Man, that was stupid. Why'd you do that? Why did you listen to my advice?"
I can't believe you listened to me, bro. Why would you listen to me?
Yeah, dude, why would you listen to me? I'm dumb.
The Joe Rogan stance.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah, basically. I will say, as a Bears fan, it's been really fun to see the downfall of Aaron Rodgers, both from Packers fans, but also to the rest of the country who are smart enough to realize that he's crazy. Seeing him go on all these podcasts and say all this outlandish stuff. But one of the funniest things to me is as a big sports fan, I follow all of a lot of team social medias, and they'll do little mini interviews, what's something that you believed when you were a child, questions like that, innocent. But more often than not, they're just starting to have these players tell on themselves, because so many times it's just what's something that you believe that people wouldn't don't think you believe, and it's usually flat Earth, stuff like that. We'll think we've never been to space. And y'all couldn't cut this out? Just leaving this on here on TikTok? Okay, I mean, whatever. That's what you want to do. Just it happens so often.
It is pretty awesome. Do you it was just recently, did you see that guy who went out and he was just like, "And women, you're getting your degrees today, and what you need to go is get cream pied and married in that order. That way you're having a baby." And
That
people
was that kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harrison Butker. The funny thing is Patrick Mahomes was on. I think he was on the Pat McAfee show like a day or two later, and they kept asking him about it. And Patrick Mahomes must have gotten told by Chiefs HR and PR to like
Do
distance
not
yourself from it.
comment on it.
Yeah.
Well, he commented it like so how are you? Pat would ask him like what's your relationship with Harrison, and he would just be like, I just don't really talk to him. Yeah, his locker's right next to mine, but I just don't talk to him. I don't talk to him ever. Like I usually talk to my other quarterback guys or the receivers, but like I don't really talk to him. He's had his locker next to mine for like all the years he's been here, but like I just don't talk to him. And you just watch it, and it's just very clear, like, oh, they told him to not say a thing and distance as fast as possible. So that's pretty funny. I would be surprised if he made the roster come spring training camp.
I think.
Like,
Go ahead.
the bar is so low for sports professionals. Like, you just
Yeah.
need to not say anything too fucking stupid. Like, you don't have to be an expert speaker. Just don't say anything controversial. Like,
Well, the thing
you
is,
got
and also,
invited to do this
A lot of
graduation.
women who
Just do
like
the regular
football.
shit.
yeah, and also like, you have a guy like Marshawn Lynch who like, he's got like his thick accent. He's like always unabashedly himself and outgoing, and he says what he thinks, and like he can be very abrasive, and people can look at him, and especially if they're racist, think like, oh, that's not what a football player should handle themselves like. But then you have Aaron Rodgers and Harrison Butker and other douchebags coming out here handling themselves the way they do, but they don't get anything, probably because they're white. So it's just like, yeah, the bar's really low. Just don't be a dick. That's it.
This
You
is
play a game.
this is the thing that had me dying about that, right? So his mom is a professor at that university, right? That's how she got him the gig, right?
Yeah.
And then people were immediately like,
Oh my god.
Your mom is a fucking professor. How can you say this shit?" And my
His
first thought
wife
was,
works.
his wife works there too?
No, his wife works outside of the home as well. She's like, I can't remember what she does, but she like makes a pretty decent amount of money in
Yeah.
her own work.
Well, here's what I want you to consider, right? Is it either that he hates his mother or that she raised him to be this way? Or
So I saw something interesting with that.
Mhm.
Sorry about to continue.
Hmm.
So I saw something interesting with that is that he, especially because his mother was like, very successful outside of the home. I
Mhm.
saw someone argue that like he's just lashing out because when he was growing up, she wasn't there because she was so focused on her career. And I'm like, hey, you know what? That's a very distinct possibility. Okay, probably something he should handle in therapy, but I don't think a guy like that would probably go to therapy or believe in it. And also, he's he's almost in his 30s and
Mhm.
he's rich. I don't think that gives him an excuse anymore.
No. I think she raised him to be like that. I think
Mm,
that's what she fucking taught him. Which sounds wild, but you look at all these fucking libs right now who have the most conservative kids, they learned it somewhere.
yeah.
They did not check that behavior and did not set a behavioral expectation. They fucking taught them to be like that. And I guarantee you, mommy there fucking parented him piss poorly that he turned out like that. He's a fucking lunk who can only do his sports activity and sent the message that as long as he has fucking money, women will flock to him. So that's what he fucking learned. Women, get back in the goddamn kitchen so you can be courted by a man with money. And now he's regurgitating what he fucking believes. Surprise, surprise. Fucking insane. I know. Now, you might be like, well, why aren't you saying anything about his father? I don't know what the fuck his father was. I really don't. I don't know if he was in that household. I don't know if he wasn't in that household. I do know in our society, the expectation is that women do the parenting. So either daddy told him this shit and mommy didn't check it, or mommy did the parenting and she taught him this shit. Cannot let motherfuckers off the hook because he's as responsible for what comes out of his mouth as everybody who told him that's the right thing to say.
farm tech, you I don't know how many other people here have children, but farm tech, you have kids. I'm sure you've dealt with parents like this who may seem like liberal and stuff like that, but like you talk to them or you see the way their kids act and they're like monsters, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, did you like? I don't know how to answer this question, but like, have you encountered that at all? Has anyone encountered something like that?
Oh yeah.
All the
I
goddamn time.
I didn't encounter it personally, but somebody told me that one of the local little boys that my daughter used to hang out with, that um his dad called him gay for slapping other little boys' butts, because you know how kids are, they're just fucking around. And he got like, oh, so you're an F word, and yeah, people really do shit like that.
Yeah.
It's just I think it's my ignorance because I think I hear things like that and I think, why would you do that? Like, why would you ever say that?
That's how their
But
parents
like,
raised them.
Yep.
You know, that's what they were taught when they were kids. Same thing. And
And look at how I turned out.
exactly, I turned out fine. My dad beat me whenever I showed mild interest in putting the Barbie into place so that the male character could have a female to talk to, and he beat me for it. So now I know that that's what makes you gay. Women being in public makes you gay, fellas.
I knew it.
Dudes have been slapping each other's asses in football for a fucking 100 years.
Dudes slap each other's asses because it's funny.
That too.
It is funny to hit your friend on the ass with a towel. It's just objectively funny. You could be doing fucking speech and debate, and it is hilarious to snap a towel on somebody's bare ass if you get the opportunity.
Yeah.
It's on site.
Dude, like, I don't think women like realize just how much things could be construed as sexual harassment that like a male group does to each other when they're just hanging out. You know, like like full
Literally
on
how we
grabbing.
opened the show. It's no joke. We were making sexually harassing jokes. I was making them about Dan and I.
This is just literally what we do. Like there's like the difference being like you have to know what's coded as friendly or not.
Correct. I don't make those jokes with people that I know or don't know aren't my friends.
Yeah.
Gay.
Exactly. Otherwise, it'd be gay.
It's just ridiculous because it's like, you know, don't dance with another guy because you know that'll make you gay. But then like I'm gonna go and get drunk with my buddies and like slap them all in the butt and like, you know, one of them's gonna pull out his balls and just for fun.
Don't go dancing with other guys. That will make you gay. Also, Footloose was one of the best movies ever. Changed my mind. That's what I have to say about that.
Kevin Bacon's bacon.
Yeah. Bacon Kevin's bacon.
I know Farm Tech said that the new Roadhouse was apparently really, really good.
All right.
And
I just realized you couldn't hear me because I was on mute.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that I want to see the rules. I want to see the writing in black and white. How much of every action is gay? Like how much Rocky Picture Horror Show until you're certified to gay? How many musicals do you have to have watched to be gay? How many is it just one pat on the butt?
Just one
is
rent.
Is it like a pat on the butt every week? Like how many
Just one.
pats on the butt
It's just rent.
is it until you're gay? I want to see the receipts.
Rent, Rocky, or enjoying The Lion King.
You're allowed to watch The Lion King, but not enjoy it.
Not the musical, you're not.
Yeah.
You do get one Evil Dead the musical. That is the straight man's musical. That's all you get.
Also, if you like Phantom of the Opera too much, sorry.
Too much is at all. That is a signifier.
I'm still trying. I'm still trying to avoid Beetlejuice because I'm afraid I'm going to grope a Republican.
Beetlejuice is a based musical, and I don't care how gay that makes me. That
How
musical
how
is
many
hilarious.
how many popsicles do you have to eat until you're gay?
One just got to go really far back.
You
It's
no,
gonna really
yeah, it depends how far you take the popsicle.
depends on
Yeah.
how you do the popsicle.
You can
Okay.
have gum,
Yep.
but if it's the gum that bursts liquid in your mouth, you're automatically gay.
Gushers. You can't have gushers.
Gushers are gay.
Yeah, have gushers,
Even though
no
the name is
gushers.
see, they try to bait you into becoming gay because the name is Gusher.
It's the gay agenda, the liberal gay agenda of gushers.
Yeah.
You're
You watch
too well
Drag Race
dressed.
once.
How well
It's
dressed?
gay.
How well dressed do you have to be considered gay?
I mean, in fairness, though, like that's like every black dude with a decent amount of fashion sense. So like,
Also, like
Ah, the down low. You're going for the
in
down low, man.
every smut book there is that isn't a dude dressed like as a dom. They're all dressed in like nice suits the whole fucking time. So riddle me that, Batman.
Yeah. Well, every British man is also gay.
yeah, you have that accent. It just happens.
Yeah.
By virtue of being British.
Anyone who has
but they're all gay because of Austin Powers.
Yep.
Drake.
Drake is a pedophile. Kendrick got his.
Yeah, that's not gay. He's just a pedophile.
We can't say he's
That's
gay
fair.
if he's a pedophile.
You can still be a gay pedophile.
You can, but that
But
like we don't want to go down that
that's
road.
not-
That's a common.
That's not
thing
Drake.
ordered. That's also not.
That's
It's already
Spacey.
bad enough.
Yeah.
That's the
Drake's
space.
already in a bad enough way.
I mean, that's what Dahmer was basically.
You remember Kevin
Yes.
Spacey trying to crawl out of a rock every few years?
Oh
Spacey.
shit! Yeah, that motherfucker.
He's also a pedophile.
He's trying to do it again.
Yep.
Yeah, he is.
Guess who's back?
He's like a ghoul trying to crawl out of the grave. Like, get back in there. Cave his skull in and just stick him back in there.
He's a zombie, but instead of brains, it's young boys.
Yeah.
Put a rock on his tomb.
Spacey's
so he
also
can't
not
get out.
gay, just a pedophile.
Who played the sus out?
Spacey also might have killed that one kid. Like, let's point out the kid. Like, not only like, Kevin Spacey might be a serial killer.
Yeah,
Wouldn't be
I mean,
surprised.
how many successful people do you know that you wouldn't be surprised aren't
He's
a
at
serial
least a-
killer?
A serial cunter.
Dolly Parton.
Yeah. Dolly Parton would be a shock.
At this point, I would say any small business owner is probably a serial killer.
Lots of them. No, usually serial killers don't. They go big or they go home. They're either a fucking janitor in like a high school in Illinois where they can stalk the teenage girls they're gonna kill, or they're like, they're on Wall Street and they're buying Asian women to
Hold-
murder, and that's why they call themselves
hold-
libertarians.
Hold the phone.
Nah,
Hang
because
on, hang on.
all the other janitors would know if that janitor is the killer, so the janitors are safe. It's more the groundskeepers.
Really?
Hang
Them
on.
motherfuckers is in and out and all day.
Did-
What are they doing?
Did I just hear you say Illinois?
Yeah.
Because if I did, we're gonna have a fight.
Are we?
We're gonna have a
Fred,
fight.
I will be in the
Yeah,
cold
It's the
ground.
French. It's Illinois.
I'm not saying Illinois.
No, it's just Illinois.
Wow.
I will never recognize the French pronunciation of anything.
Illinois.
And
just Illinois.
I'm from Pennsylvania. We always say the S. This is a fact.
Noi.
It's just noi. Just noi. You don't have to do noi. Noi.
Illinois. Illinois. Illinois.
Illinois. Noi.
Illinois.
I'm from
Damn,
Can't you
damn
ride back
users.
to school? Back to China, Illinois.
Users.
I'm doing it, dude. I'm doing China, Illinois right now. You make one
to do it
fucking
on a-
mistake, and now I got to hear about that.
You brought up Illinois. You brought up
did.
Illinois. You bring up China or Illinois, you're stuck.
Get your ass back to school. Back to China, Illinois.
Oh, that's so funny.
Get your ass back to school. Back to China, Illinois.
I saw someone on, I think it was Reddit, say that one of their uncles said that if you eat white foods, like white rice or something, that makes you gay. That turns you gay.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
that's why I'm gay. That
And
and
the
the
rules are getting
musicals.
more and more complicated.
That and the musicals and all the gay sex.
So is it gayer to just eat the yogurt or like slurp it out of a tube?
Yeah.
You're too far gone already. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You
If
want a
you pop the
yogurt?
yogurt, you opened it.
That thing?
Yeah.
Oh man. Dude, all right. I gotta poorly Photoshop this one. Hold on, check out chat for a minute. I'm gonna poorly Photoshop this one so that police woman is just carrying the sons of Trier and crying. She's bawling. She's like, "No, I have to protect it from the rain."
No, not the Bible.
That's gonna beat out our current one, which is "I love Sons of Trier now." Let's be gay. Let's shake on it.
They
Oh,
turned the Bible itself into a cross to carry by a cop, no less. All of that is a mess.
no,
Jesus
that's
Christ,
about
so
right.
fucking bad.
The cops come out really well in the
Of
Bible.
course,
After
it had
all.
to be of course, it had to be a white woman.
Yeah,
Of course.
definitely. Now think about the Bible for a second, right? So the entire story of Jesus getting murdered is the Italians have captured Jesus and murdered him, and they still managed to blame that on the Jews.
Oh my gosh, she's all wet and shit.
Yeah.
This is so phallic. Like, come on, guys. You can't see what you're doing. You're gonna wet
Oh, they
t-shirt
know.
the police Bible carrying lady.
Okay, so why is Jill
Oh, they
Valentine
know.
carrying a
Where the hell
Bible?
is she even
Yeah.
going?
How else is she gonna fight off Resident Evil without the Bible?
Is she going to the grocery store with a giant fucking Bible in the apocalypse?
Yeah.
The weirdest fucking Resident Evil mod I've ever seen.
Yeah. Bible mod.
It's like
The
all
liquors are
of those Instagram pictures from like some chick in Brooklyn going like, gonna go read in the park today.
the liquors are Catholic priests.
Yeah. Definitely Catholic priest.
Crawling on the
Nemesis is
walls.
just a jacked pope.
Nemesis no, they would make Nemesis a jacked Arab. That's what they would do with that one. Just
That's
a
probably
really, yeah, he's just a really beefy Arab, and you have to convert him to become a Presbyterian. Like
Oh, does that make Mr. X Shaft?
yeah.
The big black man's coming to get us. Dum, dum.
Shit, not black. We'll take a black Baptist, but we don't want it. That's the real secret ending to Resi 4 is you're in the lava fight and you convert Wesker into being a Presbyterian, but if you fail that boss battle, he just becomes a Lutheran, and you're like, I have to play again to get a better ending. I think that's that
God.
Bible game they played in The Simpsons, actually. The Rod and Todd play, the Bible game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too. Yeah.
You winged him. He's just a Mormon.
Or the Bible trading cards.
Yeah.
Jesus is Arimathea rookie card.
And Ada Wong stays exactly the same.
Yeah. I like that third book of the Bible called Neon Genesis Evangelion. That one was good. That
Get
book
the
got
robot
crazy.
Jesus. Get the fucking robot Jesus.
I like the no, I just liked that book in that version of the Bible. Jesus is to crawl back in his mother's vagina.
This is the unbirthing chapter of the Bible.
Yeah, Jesus is like, let me out, let me off this train.
Yeah.
Did I ever show you my
Yeah.
Jesus on a unicycle?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry,
Let
sir.
me out.
Mother, why have you forsaken me?
Why are there prison bars in your mom's vagina?
Why am I talking like Jordan Peterson for Jesus? Mother, why have you forsaken me to this pube comb that you have weaved from your own pubic hair?
Jesus Christ, you get out here right now, this instant. I can't get out. Let me out. Little Jesus.
Oh man. All right.
Little itty bitty Jesus.
I got a lot of shit to do tomorrow, and I got to do a lot of running. So I'm gonna cap it here for tonight. We didn't quite make it to midnight, but we did pretty good. I thank you for everybody coming on again. Thank you to Juniper who left early. Thank you to Jank Angles and Michael Jordan Peterson, our normal co-host.
What? Iced
And
coffee makes you gay? Aw.
thank you to our. Yeah, well, you know what? You come in late, you run it on mute. This is. I give a consolation prize for you in chat. That's about it. That's it. I left you a consolation prize. That's all you're getting. White woman torso. That's all you're getting. And I want to
Oh,
give
I
a
thought you
thanks
were
to.
saying iced coffee makes you gay.
No,
I thought
that's
because the boy would be the torso.
whatever. If that's what iced coffee is gonna do to me, then sign me up. It's better than being a fat golem like John Fetterman, which is unfortunately how I look. He's one of
Oh
ours.
no,
Hey,
not study.
you leave fat people alone. I'm a person too.
No,
I'm
but
actually multiple people.
I
Yeah,
look.
but not better.
Unfortunately, thanks to my beard and my habit of shaving my head in summer, I look like Fetterman right now. Just a giant, fat Slavic golem
I, I,
rumbling
I
around.
want to see this.
I'm not showing you pictures of that because I hate it. I guarantee you, if John Fetterman and I take our shirts off, it's the same beer gut, and I hate it. That is, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Like when people are like, "You don't have to lose weight," I'm like, "Shut the fuck up! I am tiring of looking like a John Fetterman. You will not get in my
Dan
fucking way."
Fetterman's arc.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess you're kind of right because I just look like a chunky Gimli. So I'll take that.
Better Dan.
yeah, that's cool. That's like a good thing to be. That's fun and nice and welcoming. I have fucking Golem who's like, I gotta go murder Palestinian kids now. Like, why do I want that? Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm also terrified. Like, the two people I'm terrified of looking, I was only terrified of looking like Mark Maron when I got old, frankly. That's what I was terrified of looking like before. Yeah, come on, man. Hey,
Dr. Death?
yeah, I like, because I'm just terrified of then turning into that, where every fucking woman I know, why didn't we have sex? I'm your third cousin. Oh, yeah, it's a good reason.
What if you woke up tomorrow morning looking like Donald Trump?
Okay, but I can't, though. I'm not blonde. And I'm not orange. I'm fine.
I'd at least be tall, and I'd like relish in that for a little bit,
Yeah.
but that's about it.
You're like standing at the top of the building getting ready to jump, and you're looking in the glass, and you're like, at least I was tall. At least.
For 10 minutes, I felt tall because that's all I would last.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Well, I enjoyed being tall. You walk into a grocery store looking like that, you grab something on the top shelf, put it in the cart, and then you like help somebody get a cat out of a tree, and you're like, all right, I enjoyed being tall. Now because I look like Donald Trump, it's time to kill myself.
Sit there and go, man, this is a bit of a letdown. Everything is just so dusty. Why don't people dust anymore?
That would get
When I was 5'1", I didn't notice this stuff.
It was so much nicer. The world was a happier place. Yeah, no. Fetterman's taller than me, but I'm also in that same vein of giant Midwestern suns. Just way too tall, way too wide, and now again, thanks to my beard and my habit of shaving, I look like fucking Fetterman. I look like a goddamn golem. I hate it. Look like it
I think we
fucking.
need pictures.
I'm not doing it. I've just given you the description. I'm not nice try. Yeah, that's right. That's how you blackmail me back. I see what you did, Nerdy Farm Tech. That's why you're like, oh, I'll bring him in here. We'll go a whole episode, and we'll get him to lure him into blackmailing photos where he looks like Fetterman.
I mean, in fairness, you could just upload a picture of Fetterman and say, "Here, I did it. Finally, shut up."
Yeah.
That's what you get for earlier trying
That
to
is.
blackmail me if I leave.
I'm trying to white privilege you.
Yeah.
White
Better
philander.
Dan. Better Dan.
Yeah, which, by the way, can we stop calling it blackmail and start calling it white philandering? Philandering. There we go.
Ooh, I like that. You're speaking to my soul, sir.
I am. I'm trying. White philandering. White fandangling.
White Philandering just sounds like the name of a jam band that I walked out of like an hour and a half into their set.
And it's
I
only
like
the first
I like
song.
white fan dangling because it implies it's as sexually disgusting as it is.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, thank you to you two. Thank you to our guests. We have, of course, the nerdy redneck farm tech, and we have the Lost Doctor. Good having you both. We'll see you next week. This is the Sons of Trier. America, don't die. Bye.
Good night, America. Don't